Armstrong Entertainment Special Edition. Top 10 Movies of 2011.
Hey everyone, what's up? This is Chad from Armstrong Entertainment, and this is a special edition. My 10 favorite movies that I've seen in the theater this year. Okay, there's one exception, but I can't help it. So this year, I think I saw around 64 movies in the theater. Holy crap, I can't even imagine how much money that is. Actually, I can, I just have to add it up, but I don't want to. None of the movies in my top 10, I've realized, none of them are big blockbuster movies except for one. And I'm more into movies that are more like original, unique, different, something refreshing and new, something I haven't seen before. So my list is a bunch of movies that a lot of you probably have not gotten a chance to see yet. So let me just get started. My absolute favorite movie this year, it won by a squeak, I would have to say Midnight in Paris. I just watched it again last night and I love this film. Not sure how many people have seen it, but I don't want to give anything away again because one of the main reasons why I enjoy this movie so much is because when I went into the theater to see it, I had no idea what the plot was about, and the trailer gives nothing away, and when you're watching this movie, you're like, oh my gosh, what? What? That's what this movie's about? Yeah, I love it. It's like refreshing, unique, new. Woody Allen directed it. Definitely a great movie. Midnight in Paris, I love that movie. Another movie in my top 3, I would say. There's no real order, just my order is Midnight in Paris is number 1. One of my other top 3 movies is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Now, I know it just came out like 2 weeks ago, but wow, I really enjoy this movie as well. It's like so character driven, and I love David Fincher, and I love what he did with the film. I really want to read the book now. I really enjoyed The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. If you haven't gotten a chance to see it, definitely go check it out. I cannot wait for the rest of them to come out. Big fan of the series. It's very stylish. I really loved this film. Another one is The Skin I Live In. I know a lot of people haven't seen this movie, and it shows because my movie review only got like 60 views. Nobody's interested in this movie, and I guess I understand why, because it's a foreign language film. It's Pedro Almodovar, one of his movies. I love all of his films, and this one is by far one of his craziest. Again, I had no idea what was going to happen. I went in very blindly to this film, and when I saw it, I literally freaked out, and I cannot wait to see it again. It's one of those movies you need to see twice, because there's so much you can miss that you definitely have to see this movie twice. Great film, though, The Skin I Live In. Another movie, which I'm really surprised I'm including in my top 10, but I couldn't help it, this movie, Bridesmaids. I know it came out during the summer, but I actually saw it in the theater twice, which I usually don't do. This movie is hilarious. I know almost everybody's seen it by now. I'm not a big comedy fan, and if you can actually make me laugh in the theater, I give you props, because I will just sit there and never laugh. But this movie had me pissing in my pants. I thought it was hilarious. The characters are funny, great. I really love Bridesmaids. Melancholia. I cannot believe I'm even putting this in my top 10, but this movie was so shocking to me. People were warning me not to watch it, but I am so glad I did and didn't listen to anybody because I loved it. It is so weird and creepy, and oh man, the performances are great, the director is a little crazy, but overall this movie freaked me out, and I was randomly thinking about it today still. So interesting, so original, so unique. Another one of those movies that I really didn't have a lot of expectations going in, but coming out, it like kind of blew my mind away. Now this next movie, I'm not surprised it's in my top 10. As soon as I heard that they were making a movie about Marilyn Monroe, I knew I was going to love it. My Week with Marilyn. Granted, I wish I would have liked it a little more, but Michelle Williams' performance as Marilyn Monroe did it for me. I was so in love with her as Marilyn, and I'm a humongous Marilyn Monroe fan. The 1950s, this was like an ingredient for the perfect movie for me. I wish I liked it a little more, but I definitely am going to put it in my top 10. If you haven't seen it, check it out just for Michelle Williams' performance alone. Okay, now please don't make fun of me for this next one, but I am a huge Harry Potter fan. I read all the books. I even read the books that came out, The Beetle and the Bard, the one that came out after Harry Potter. Big fan ever since it first started. I've been Harry Potter for Halloween like 3 years now. I really need to retire that costume. And I can't help it. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Again, it's not like the best movie in the world, but it has so much action in it. It's like the epic ending to Harry Potter, and how can you be a fan of Harry Potter and not love this last film? So it is definitely at the bottom of my top 10 list, but I'm definitely throwing it in there, Harry Potter. Here's a movie that came out really early last year. I had no expectations for it. I kind of just thought it looked cool, and when I saw this movie, I was scared out of my wits. It was rated PG-13. It's called Insidious. Holy crap, this movie blew me away. It was so scary and it was so simple. And I know there's some cheesy parts in it, but overall I loved this film, Insidious. I still love it. It's just one of those movies that really affected me, and I was honestly scared in this movie, and that never happens to me. As soon as I heard about this next movie, it came out in all these film festivals like a year ago, I was like, oh my gosh, what a great idea for a movie. It's going to be shot in black and white, it's going to be called The Artist, and it's shot in black and white, and it takes place during the 1920s, 30s, about the film era, like going from silent films to talkie films. It reminded me a lot of Singing in the Rain, and I love that movie. So this movie was so different and unique, like all the other ones I've been mentioning. Great performances. Definitely going to get an Oscar nomination for this movie, but I definitely enjoyed The Artist. Okay, now here's where I'm cheating a little bit. Now this next movie I did not see in the theater, and I didn't see it because everybody said it was crap. So I was like, oh, I guess I won't see it. Wasn't dying to see it. It looked a little boring and slow to me, and I'm so mad I missed it. But I rented it a few weeks ago, and wow, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it right now. It's called The Tree of Life. Granted, there's about 20 minutes in there that I fast-forwarded through because I wasn't understanding it and I was wrapping Christmas gifts. Now I had to go re-watch that because I guess it was like the creation of life. And I guess I just skipped over the creation of life. But that movie, wow, it was... I don't even know how to describe it. It just personally affected me. It was about this relationship with Brad Pitt, who was the father, and his kids. And there's so much in that movie that I related to. It's just a very relatable movie for me, and it was shot brilliantly, and it was very somber and kind of sad and depressing, and it was perfect for me. I loved it. Honestly, I will admit this, and I wasn't going to, but I kind of cried in it. Again, it was because I was watching it by myself, so nobody saw me cry, so there's no proof. But it's the only movie, I haven't cried in a movie, and I don't even remember if I've ever cried in a movie, but this movie was really sad, and it had a lot of personal meaning for me, so I definitely enjoyed The Tree of Life. So that pretty much wraps up my top 10 movies. Again, I saw almost 70 films in the theater this year. These are definitely my top 10, 15. I'm probably missing one or two. They almost made the cut, but they didn't quite. These are all just movies that are very personal to me. So, what are your top 10 movies this year? I mean, it was a good year for movies. At least I thought so. So, stay tuned to Armstrong Entertainment. Big changes are going to happen in the future. I'm going to make myself a studio. So enjoy! Happy 2012. I almost forgot what year it was. Armstrong Entertainment, out.
Here's a list of my top 10 in no really particular order, but Midnight in Paris is my favorite movie of the year. Like me on Facebook,